Hi guys, my name is Chris Ord. Today's video is brought to you by Photoshoot Magazine, the magazine that's designed by creatives for creatives. Today I want to give you my 5 tips for becoming a happy photographer. So number 1, shoot what you enjoy. Now, I always think of photography like golf. I'm terrible at golf, I don't enjoy playing it, so that's why I stopped. And the same is true with photography. There's no point shooting a genre that you don't particularly enjoy shooting. So if you're not a big fan of lying in fields waiting for the light, don't shoot landscape photography. If you're not a big fan of interacting with people and shooting people in a studio environment, don't shoot studio portraits. So find the line of photography that you like to shoot and go and shoot that, and you'll find you have much more enjoyment achieving the results you want and shooting things you want to shoot, rather than feeling like you have to delve into loads of different areas and shoot loads of different things. Number 2, remember who you're shooting for. Now this can be true whether you're an amateur photographer or a professional photographer. And I always say this when I'm running workshops and doing one-to-one sessions and teaching people that you've got to remember who you're shooting for. It doesn't matter if you're shooting for yourself, if you're shooting for a client, but please never shoot to please other photographers. That's not the right way to go. If you're shooting just to make sure you get a better reaction from photographers, you're never going to really get what you want. Whereas if you're shooting for yourself and you want to create something really cool and you do that, and that's a great result. If you're shooting for a client, whether that be a commercial client, whether it be a landscape commission, whether it be a wedding, and the client loves the images, then that's job done. So don't worry too much about anyone else outside that, what they say. Now, don't get me wrong, if you're looking for feedback and you're looking for critique, by all means ask other photographers. But just remember who you're shooting for. And I started doing this a couple of years ago and it made me a much happier photographer, not worrying about what other people thought about my images. Don't sweat the small stuff. Don't worry too much about the little niggly bits in your images. They're what are there to help us improve. Don't worry if every single shot you get isn't the most fantastic image, because you'll guarantee there'll still be some positives to take out of that. And it's important you do take the positives out, but don't sweat the small stuff. You know, if there's one little bit of composition that just isn't quite right, you'll get it next time. Don't get hung up on the small bits like that. Look at your overall journey and you'll find you're improving as a photographer every time you go out with a camera. Network and surround yourself with like-minded people. Because I shoot a lot of portraiture and a lot of fashion work, I surround myself with makeup artists, hairstylists, fashion stylists, and we all think along the same wavelength, which in turn helps my creative juices flow. So, you know, I don't pretend to know everything about what I'm shooting, so that's why I use different experts from different areas and get their input into it, and it helps me grow my knowledge and grow my opportunity for great images in a much bigger way than it would if I was just working by myself. So don't be afraid to network with people and get to know other people, whether that's other photographers or other creatives in the industry, because working together in a like-minded approach collaboratively can certainly help improve your work and certainly give you a much happier outlook. Being a photographer at times can be a very, very lonely existence. You guys will well know you can spend pretty much all day sitting in front of a computer by yourself at times editing the images. And if you've been out shooting landscapes by yourself, that's a whole lot of time to spend by yourself. So don't be afraid to interact with other people. 99% of photographers are great people. Don't be afraid to interact, say hello and get to know them. And number 5, don't measure yourself against other photographers. I do it at times, we all do it. You know, there's some wedding photographers I look up to, and when they post an image on Instagram, I think, oh my God, give me a chance. Don't post that image just yet, particularly when it's been a venue I've just shot. But we shouldn't measure ourselves against other people. We're all at different parts of our journey in photography. So it's important that we take stock and recognize our own journey, rather than try and measure ourselves against other photographers who may have been doing it for an extra 10 years, 5 years less. They may have a different camera, different setup, different location. There's so many variables in photography. Don't measure yourself against anyone else, just measure yourself against yourself. If I look back at my images for when I first started shooting weddings back in 2008, I won't even show those images now because I'm embarrassed about how bad they were. Don't get me wrong, my clients loved them at the time, but for my current level of work, I've grown massively since then. So it's important to measure yourself against your own progress, and you'll find you've grown much more than you really think you have. So guys, that's just my 5 quick tips on how to become a happier photographer. If you'd like to know anything else, by all means drop me a comment down below. I'll put a link to a few of my blogs which cover these sorts of subjects too, and a link to Photoshoot Magazine. You can grab the latest issue, which is packed full of features from different photographers and different creatives, and get a behind the scenes look into the photography industry. So thanks very much for watching guys. My name's Chris Ord. Don't forget to subscribe.